Good morning, everyone. My name is Ridonis Pranto, and I will begin our presentation on the Coffs Harbour Bypass Economic Evaluation. Next. This project represents the final link in the Pacific Highway upgrade, a 14-kilometer four-lane divided highway connecting Sydney and Brisbane. It's a 1.8 billion joint investment by the Australian and New South Wales governments, with construction running from 2021 to 2027. Over its lifetime, the bypass is projected to create 12,000 jobs, including 2,000 local positions, and reduce travel time by 12 minutes by eliminating 12 traffic lights in the Coffs Harbour CBD. Next. The project is guided by four strategic objectives. The first one is enhanced safety, which is separating local and through traffic to reduce accident risks. The second one is time savings, delivering faster and more efficient travel for commuters and freight operators. The third one is freight efficiency, improving logistics along the vital Sydney-Brisbane corridor. And the fourth one is economic stimulus, generating thousands of employment opportunities and supporting regional growth. In essence, this bypass is not just a road project, it's an economic and social enabler that transforms how people and goods move across the East Coast. Next.
Thanks, Rodon. I'll now walk you through the economic context for this project, starting at the local level and then zooming out to the national picture before covering our key stakeholders. Let's begin with the micro context and why this project matters for Coffs Harbour region. So Coffs Harbour has a gross regional product of 4.89 billion as of 2023 to 2024. It's a diverse economic it's a diverse economy spanning healthcare, retail, construction, and tourism, all sectors that depend on efficient transport infrastructure to thrive. Currently, the region faces three critical market inefficiencies that are holding back economic growth. First, traffic congestion costs. Second, business logistics expenses. And third, regional accessibility challenges. Could we move on to the next slide, please? So now for the macro context, this project aligns with the national infrastructure priorities and economic growth objectives. The bypass supports national infrastructure development and contributes to GDP growth through enhanced transport connectivity along the critical Sydney-Brisbane corridor. From a safety perspective, we're projecting a 25% reduction in crashes, specifically for the Coffs Harbour bypass. This represents a significant safety improvement that will save lives and reduce social and economic costs of road accidents. On the environmental side, the broader Pacific Highway upgrade program has protected 9,000 hectares of native vegetation, demonstrating that major infrastructure development and environmental sustainability can go hand in hand. Next slide, please. So for the key stakeholders, we've established the economic case at both local and national levels. Now, who's actually involved? It's at the government level, we have the Australian government and New South Wales government as our funding partners, alongside Coffs Harbour City Council, which represents the local community interest. Local residents and businesses will benefit from improved traffic flow and regional amenity. Two groups deserve special mention, which are the traditional owners who have been consulted throughout this project. And finally, environmental groups have also been actively engaged. This collaborative approach ensures that the economic benefits we've discussed are delivered in ways that represents the cultural heritage and environmental values. That's all from me.
Okay, thanks, Jovan. So for project costs and benefits, In terms of financial and costs, we have two costs that have been identified. The first is the obvious capital expense of building the bypass itself, covering the tunnels, the roadway, the overpasses, everything you need for the bypass. The second is the projected maintenance and operation costs over the 30-year evaluation period. So these come to a total of around $1.5 billion. Now, in regards to the 30-year evaluation period, that's from Transport for New South Wales guidelines. And the way they request a cost-benefit study be done is that the remaining life of the asset be calculated as a residual value at the end of the eval period. And in our case, that's $81.8 million. Now, that is our sole financial benefit for this project. Some other key items, the discount rate for this project that we've used is 7%. We are aware that current guidelines ask for 5%. However, when this project was incepted, 7% was the norm, and we've kept it that way for consistency. Additionally, all costs are represented as in a base year of 2021. Now, in terms of economic benefits, there are 4 areas that we have identified major benefits. The first is travel time benefits. Now, in its year of opening, this roadway is expected to have around 8 million vehicles on it each year. That translates to a time save for each of those trips and for the reduction of time spent in congested traffic. So that's our first economic benefit. The second one is the area that's being bypassed has 12 sets of traffic lights in it. So there is a benefit for not having cars stop and start in terms of vehicle maintenance. There's a benefit in terms of pollution, because obviously stop-start is the worst for pollution. And there's a benefit in terms of better trip reliability, because the traffic is less, or the set of lights are less variable. The next benefit is in regards to safety. So as noted earlier, this new bypass is expected to improve safety by 25%. The area does have quite a heavy crash statistic, so this is expected to be quite an improvement in terms of less injuries, less time off work, etc. Finally, by removing a whole bunch of traffic from the Coffs Harbour CBD, there's expected to be a benefit to the amenity of the area, especially for pedestrians, cyclists, and other people who aren't trucks. They're the primary benefits. I'm going to hand over to Kabish for cash flow.
Yeah, thanks, Jason. So from a cash flow perspective, we have got the Coffs Harbour bypass shows the net present value of negative 1,430.84 million, and at the end of the eval period, we have got 81.80 salvage value. That's the total benefits until now from a financial perspective. Next slide, please. So we have got the highly negative NPV, which is expected for public infrastructures, which is also a free-to-use non-tolled project, and this implies that overall government funding is required to make the project viable. Next slide, please. So in terms of when we include economic benefits such as like travel times, vehicle cost reductions, improved safety and local amenities, the total benefits becomes much more 1.56 billion against the cost of 1.43 billion. This gives the positive net present value, and which means that it creates more good for the society than it costs. So and nearly half of the benefits come from the travel time savings, and as you can see, the economic payback period comes around the end of 2039, 2040, which is about 13 years after the opening of the Coffs Harbour bypass. Next slide. So to measure that, we have looked at the 3 economic trip viability indicators, which are net present value, BCR, and economic rate of internal rate of returns. So the economic BCR is just 1.075, which is more than the Infrastructure Australia's base of 1.0, which makes it viable. And the economic internal rate of return, which is at 7%, just equals the discount rate, which we can progress through. So even though the project sounds financially unprofitable, it is economically justifiable because of the long-term improvements in safety, freight efficiency, and regional connectivity. So that's it from me. So,
Thank you, Kavish. Yeah, my name is Ryu, and I work on the sensitivity analysis for the cloud sour bypass project. The analysis has two parts, qualitative and quantitative. I start with the qualitative part first. Here we rank the main risks that could affect the project. The two biggest risks are tunnel cost and traffic demand. Tunnel work is technically complex and expensive, while traffic demand determines how much benefit the bypass will actually deliver. Procurement is a medium risk because delays in contracting or delivery could increase costs and push back the schedule. The other factors like environmental maintenance, community, and life expectancy are low risk can be managed with proper planning and monitoring. Overall, these metrics show that the project main challenges are related to technical and demand, while operational costs are quite manageable. Moving on to the quantitative analysis. Next slide. We tested how changes in each variable affect the project net present value. Among all variables, project cost is the most sensitive. Even a small cost increase can reduce a project value sharply. The MPV stays positive value up to about this breakpoint, which is 8% of cost increases. But once it passes this point, MPV turns negative, meaning that the project will no longer be economically executed. On the positive side, this economic value of bypass trip and time saving increased MPV, so the project success finally depends on keeping costs stable and maximizing the travel time and user benefit. Thank you.
To conclude, our economic analysis recommends that the Coff Harbor bypass should proceed on economic and social grounds. Although the project records a negative financial NPV of minus 1.44 billion, it achieves a positive economic NPV of 114.7 million as well and a benefit cost ratio of 1.075, exceeding infrastructure Australia's benchmark for viability. These results confirm that while the project requires public funding, it will deliver real value to society through safer travel, reduced congestion, and improved freight reliability. Going forward, strict cost control, post-construction traffic monitoring, and reassessment under the updated 5% discount rate will be critical to maintain this value. Overall, the Coffs Harbour bypass is a strategically justified investment that delivers long-term economic, environmental, and community benefits, ensuring a safer, faster, and more connected future for New South Wales. Thanks.